Hi, my name's Jan, and I'm a woman in long-term recovery. And what that means is that I have not had a drug or a drink in over 10 years. I started young, marijuana, and then to cocaine and hallucinogenics and all kinds of stuff. Nobody starts out wanting to be an addict, and when you first start, you get that feeling of euphoria and you just feel good and your troubles seem to drift away. And the more you need, the more you've become addicted, the more it rules you and you don't rule it. So then it becomes, a need and not a want, and a chore and a job, really, to continue to use. It's, trying to fill that hole in us that, we feel like we're empty. Whatever made the hole for whatever reason, but we're always trying to fill it with something. I was more of a cocaine user, but a drug is a drug is a drug. Like, it affects us all the same and taking us out of ourselves. I pretty much lost everything. I ended up inheriting a house and in my early recovery, and I knew the moment that I had been placed on the will to inherit this house, that that's what I was going to do, was turn it into a recovery house. I just felt like I had to give back and start helping other people that were coming up through the process. Most of the women that come to me, it's opiates that ruled their lives. A lot of these women were in long-term use of heroin, and how it affected them physically and emotionally, mentally. You see the ravages and the scars that it leaves, because when you're under that influence, you will do anything. Every recovery house is different in how it's run. I'm probably the only one in the area where I live with the ladies, and I try to make it more of a home atmosphere. We have pets. We will sit down and eat meals together and cook together. They have rules. They do pay rent. A lot of people will relapse because they get overwhelmed at all they feel like they have to do. Because if you look at the big picture, well, they need a car. Well, I need to get my kids back. I need to get an apartment. I need to get a job. And, it becomes overwhelming for them. So a lot of times, you have to just kind of pull them back and be like, look, you've already done this, this, and this. Like, you're working towards it. You're going in the right direction. Well, it's just about time. We're getting ready to open. We always have the coffee on. The coffee shop is manned completely by volunteers. So, and 7 days a week from noon until 11 o'clock at night. It gives, everybody a place to go. A safe environment. We hold 12-step meetings here. We have education going on. It's nice that we support all kinds of recovery. So our motto here is, you never have to be alone. A lot of times, in active addiction, we feel very isolated because, what the addiction has done to our friendships, to our personal relationships with family, and just using, period, you tend to isolate. So you don't have to do that here. When somebody walks in the door, we're like, hey, how are you? Come on in. You need a cup of coffee? And just to be able to sit and talk with them. Maybe they're hurting that day. But once you get in here and you start to meet people, you kind of realize, there is life, after addiction. And it's right here.